Welcome to the channel and this video. Today, we dive into one of the most unusual chapters in history, the Great Emu War of 1932. Yes, you heard that right, a war against birds. This isn't fiction. It's a real story where humans, with their machines and strategies, faced off against nature in the form of Australia's flightless birds, the emus. Our story begins in Western Australia during the Great Depression, a period of global economic hardship. Farmers in the region were already struggling to make ends meet. Many of these farmers were veterans of World War I, encouraged by the government to settle on the land and cultivate crops like wheat. It was a way to rebuild their lives after the war, but farming in the harsh Australian environment was no easy task. On top of unpredictable weather, pests, and economic challenges, a new and unexpected adversary emerged: emus. Emus, large flightless birds native to Australia, are fascinating creatures. Standing up to 1.9 meters tall and weighing over 50 kilograms, these birds are powerful runners, capable of reaching speeds of 50 kilometers per hour. They're also quite intelligent, with an instinct for survival that would soon prove to be a nightmare for farmers. Each year, emus migrate in search of food and water. In 1932, their migration paths brought them straight into the wheat fields of Western Australia. The sight of thousands of emus descending on farmland was devastating. They trampled fences, devoured crops, and left fields in ruin. For farmers, already struggling to survive, this was an absolute disaster. Desperate for help, the farmers turned to the government. Their plea was simple: something had to be done about the emus. The government agreed and decided to deploy military resources to tackle the problem. Enter Major G.P.W. Meredith, a soldier with the Royal Australian Artillery, who was tasked with leading the operation. Meredith and his team were equipped with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. On paper, this seemed like more than enough firepower to deal with a bunch of birds. But as the campaign unfolded, it became clear that the emus were no ordinary adversaries. The first encounter took place near the town of Campion in early November 1932. The soldiers spotted a group of about 50 emus. They set up their machine guns, took aim, and fired. But as the first shots rang out, chaos ensued. The emus scattered in all directions. Their speed and agility made them almost impossible to target. Despite firing several rounds, only a few birds were killed. Over the following days, the soldiers tried different tactics. They set up ambushes near watering holes, hoping to catch the emus off guard. But the birds were smarter than expected, avoiding traps and outmaneuvering the soldiers. In one instance, a machine gun mounted on a truck was used to chase a flock, but the bumpy terrain made aiming impossible, and the operation ended with the truck crashing. The emus also displayed surprising teamwork. They would split into smaller groups, making it harder for the soldiers to target them. Some even seemed to act as lookouts, warning the others of danger. Major Meredith later remarked on their cleverness, noting that these birds seemed to possess almost military-like strategies. As the campaign dragged on, it became clear that the emus were winning. Thousands of rounds of ammunition were expended, but only a small fraction of the birds were killed. The media caught wind of the story and began mocking the military's efforts. Headlines like "Emus defeat diggers" appeared in newspapers, turning the campaign into a public spectacle. By December 1932, the government called off the operation. It was a humiliating defeat for the military and a victory for the emus. The farmers were left to fend for themselves once again. Eventually, the government introduced a bounty system, offering rewards for emu carcasses. This proved more effective, as local hunters could target the birds individually without the fanfare of a military campaign. The Great Emu War has since become a humorous footnote in Australian history. It's a story of human ingenuity clashing with nature and losing in the most spectacular way. But beyond the humor, there's a deeper lesson. The emus weren't villains. They were simply acting on instinct, doing what they needed to survive. This Tale is a poignant reminder of the challenges of coexistence between humans and the natural world. It's also a testament to the resilience of nature and the absurdity of human ambition when faced with forces beyond our control. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the channel, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more fascinating stories. See you next time.